This is how the final phase of election campaigning looks like in Istanbul. At the ferry terminal in the Kadıköy district, the major parties have set up their stalls, and they are doing their best to drown each other out.
This city has been in campaign mode for almost 6 months now. He narrowly won the mayor's office in March, Ekrem Imamoglu. It was the first opposition victory here in Istanbul in 25 years. But Binali Yildirim of the ruling AKP wasn't going to give up the city without a fight. His party filed complaints over irregularities and obtained a rerun of the election. So now it's round number 2 in the fight for Turkey's most important city.
Ekrem Imamoglu has been back on the campaign trail for weeks. He still considers himself the legitimate mayor of Istanbul, and the decision to rerun the election politically motivated. But he has accepted it, and he's determined to win again by a decisive margin.
Of course, this election rerun is a waste of time, money and energy. And every day I'm faced with another smear campaign. But this is something we have to deal with. And I believe that we will emerge unscathed and stronger from this experience.
The date of the rerun is another challenge for Imamoglu and his party, the CHP. The vote takes place on June 23rd, in the middle of the summer holidays. That's when many people from Istanbul are usually on vacation. But because the last election was decided by such a slim margin, this time every vote counts. The opposition has even put out spoof warnings. Don't go to Bodrum on June 23rd, as heavy snowfall is expected and the beaches will be shut. Whether it's down to the tongue-in-cheek adverts or not, travel agent Cem Polatolu says many Istanbulites have indeed changed their holiday plans.
We've had many elections during summer, but I have never seen something like this. 500,000 people from Istanbul have changed or canceled their travel plans so they can be here and vote in the election.
The ruling AK party is also vigorously campaigning on the streets. Their candidate for mayor, Binali Yildirim, was Turkey's prime minister until last year. He's playing on his political experience. But President Erdogan, who held one election rally after another in support of his man in the initial vote in spring, is now noticeably holding back. Nevertheless, the party's volunteers say they're sure of victory.
The CHP is definitely trying to create the impression that they've already won. But we're optimistic. In the first round, our votes were stolen. And now we're going to get them back. Voters keep telling us that they want Binali Yildirim for mayor. And God willing, he will win.
Whoever wins Istanbul wins Turkey is a well-known saying coined by President Erdogan himself. This time around, many voters in this significant city would be happy if the winner of the election would also be recognized as such.
Julia Hahn reporting there. And we can go to Julia. She is in Istanbul for you. Julia, is there a clear front runner at this stage?
Opinion polls here in Turkey are considered notoriously unreliable, but most of them show the opposition candidate Ekrem Imamoglu ahead with up to 8 percentage points. But I met President Erdogan yesterday in a rare meeting with foreign journalists where he dismissed these surveys as manipulative and made on order. The real poll, Erdogan says, would take place on Sunday. So despite the opposition and Ekrem Imamoglu being hopeful that they can win again, there is a lot of uncertainty as to what will happen on election day.
Now, Julia, you joined Ekrem Imamoglu on the campaign trail. Who is he? What can you tell us about him?
Well, until a few months ago, he was little known, even here in Turkey. He was the mayor of an outlying district of Istanbul, but the fact that he narrowly won the election in March and was then stripped of his mandate at the request of the ruling party propelled him onto the national stage. He has led an all-embracing grassroots campaign. He has been talking a lot about love and unity. This might sound trivial, but this has played well with people here in this highly polarized society where political language is oftentimes very aggressive. Ekrem Imamoglu represents a secular leftist party, the CHP, but he's also a religious man, so he appeals to conservative voters, to traditional AKP voters as well. I talked to some Istanbul residents here in the past weeks and I've collected some of their sound bites why they support Mr. Imamoglu. Let's listen to what they had to tell me.
The election is very important. This time Imamoglu will win more decisively, and this could be the beginning of the end for the ruling party.
What was done to him was very unfair. He deserves a chance as mayor. That's his right.
He's trying to be there for everybody in Istanbul, no matter who they are. That's his way of doing politics, and that's why I hope he'll be our mayor.
He's like a brother for us. He's sincere.
With him, Istanbul got its beauty back and everybody started smiling again.
Now, this is, of course, a mayoral election, Julia, but its significance is so much bigger than that. Why?
Well, that's because Istanbul is just so hugely important. It's Turkey's cultural and financial center. It makes up about a third of the country's economy. President Erdogan was born here. He started his very own political career here when he became mayor of Istanbul in 1994. So for him and his party, this city means wealth. It means power and prestige. Losing it a second time would be a major blow to Mr. Erdogan's reputation as an unbeatable political force. That's what analysts say. So really, this is not just an election about who's going to be mayor of Istanbul, but this is an election that is going to be followed by millions of people here in the country and abroad.
But the question, of course, is now, will this time around, whatever the outcome is, will it be accepted? Will it be final?
Well, both candidates say they are going to accept the outcome of this election. But of course, a victory of the AKP will probably be greeted by a lot of suspicion by the opposition. Already, the decision for rerun has been met with a lot of criticism. I don't think that Mr. Imamoglu will call on people to take to the streets in case he loses. But such developments are often quite difficult to control. So we might see protests, but we also might see a week-long battle, post-election battle for this important city, a city of 16 million people, because no side clearly will let this city go so easily.
All right, and one of the world's most fabled cities, Julia Hahn reporting. Thank you very much.